Mean Girls has one job in our memory. Regina George runs North Shore. Cady Heron gets invited into her world, gets corrupted by it, and eventually realizes what she's become. She takes responsibility and she changes. Regina's reign ends, the plastics fall apart, and the movie leaves us with a better school. That's the version most of us remember. But it isn't quite what happens, because the campaign that takes Regina down never rejects the things she stands for. It uses all of them: her body, her boyfriend, her reputation. The exact same pressure points Regina has been using against everyone else. And we go along with it, because by then, Regina feels like she deserves whatever happens to her. Before Cady ever walks into North Shore, the school already has its own defined universe. That cafeteria map is funny because it's accurate. The jocks sit in one area, the art freaks sit in another, the plastics sit at the center, and everyone knows roughly what they're worth before they even choose a seat. Janis is the one who draws the map for Cady. She's obviously not neutral. She still hates the girl at the center of it. But the map holds up, because Cady can walk into that cafeteria and see the entire hierarchy exactly where Janis said it would be. Regina didn't create that hierarchy. She mastered it. She figured out how to make its ugliest rules feel personal, and she got very good at deciding who belonged and who didn't. For the audience, it's easy to forget when we're busy hating her. And to be clear, Janis has a reason to hate her. Regina spread a rumor about Janis's sexuality in the 8th grade. Not the kind of rumor that disappears after a few awkward days. The kind that follows you into every room and lets an entire school decide who you are before ever getting to know you. The rumor made Janis an outcast, and years later, her anger at Regina still hasn't gone away. That pain is real. It doesn't become less real when Janis eventually admits that she's been using Cady as well. Regina hurt Janis first, and Janis is very much capable of hurting someone else. We just don't care much about the second truth yet, because revenge feels pretty good when we agree with the person getting it. And that agreement changes everything. Once the target feels earned, no one bothers to check the methods. Look at the plan Janis and Cady create. It isn't especially complicated, but it's brutally specific. Their plan is to attack Regina's body, destroy her relationship, and turn the people closest to her against her. Think about what that says about North Shore. Everyone immediately understands why those attacks will work. Nobody needs the logic behind it explained. They already know that a girl's weight, her boyfriend, and her place in the group are the 3 easiest ways to ostracize her. They know because they've watched Regina use those same weapons on everyone else. Janis and Cady don't invent a better way to fight her. They pick up Regina's playbook and turn it around. Their reasons are sympathetic, especially at first. Janis wants payback for something that genuinely wounded her. Cady believes she's helping. But then Heron starts to matter. Belonging starts to matter. Status starts to matter. And somewhere along the way, Cady stops carrying out Janis's plan and starts enjoying what the plan is giving her. You can understand why someone wants revenge and still look honestly at what they do to get it. Watch how quickly Cady learns. First, they go after Regina's body. Cady gives her Call-Teen bars and tells her they will help her lose weight, knowing they'll do the opposite. The plan works, but it only works because Regina already believes that gaining weight means losing part of what makes her powerful. Janis and Cady didn't create that fear. They simply understand they could use it. And yes, Regina has used that same fear against other girls. That's why turning it against her feels satisfying. But it's still the same cruelty. We've just decided this time it counts as justice. Then there's Heron. Cady pretends to be bad at calculus, so he'll tutor her. She acts helpless, so he'll notice her. At first, he's part of the strategy. Then the feelings become real, and that's when things get messy. Cady is pretending to want Heron in order to hurt Regina, while actually wanting Heron for herself. After a while, even she can't tell where the plan ends and her desire begins. The campaign gives her permission to pursue what she already wants. Gretchen is the third pressure point. Her entire place inside the plastics depends on access. Knowing Regina's secrets, getting Regina's attention, and never being the last person to find something out. Cady sees that insecurity and works it exactly the way Regina does. Again, nothing new. Same weapon, just different person holding it. Then Cady throws the party. Her parents are out of town. The house fills with people from school. And suddenly Cady is no longer visiting the center of North Shore's social world. She is the center. People want access to her now. They want to be invited by her. They're waiting to see what she does next. The party isn't another step in the campaign. It's proof of what the campaign has turned her into. And by this point, Janis and Damien barely matter to the choices Cady is making. She doesn't need anyone pushing her anymore. The attention feels good. Aaron feels good. Power feels good. Then Regina finds the burn book, and the movie finally shows us how much bigger this is than one rivalry. The burn book existed before Cady joined the plastics. It already contained page after page of insults, rumors, and humiliations. Cady adds to it. At minimum, she writes the entry about Ms. Norbury, but she doesn't release it. Regina does. Regina adds a page about herself so she can look like another victim, then spreads the pages throughout the school. And almost instantly, North Shore tears itself apart. That reaction is the real revelation. The burn book doesn't create all that cruelty in a single morning. It uncovers what was already there. Every rumor works because someone was ready to believe it. Every insult lands because someone already knew where the bruise was. The plastics may have collected the material, but the whole school helped create the world that made it valuable. At that point, this stops being a story about whether Cady or Regina is the real mean girl. The problem now is the entire building. Now, the movie deserves credit for what it does next. Ms. Norbury brings the girls into the gym and forces them to face what they've done to one another. They admit things, they cry, they fall backward, and trust somebody to catch them. Cady doesn't get to stand outside that reckoning and blame Regina. She's part of it. And Cady really does change. She apologizes, she repairs relationships, she stops trying to manipulate every room she enters. She returns to math, not because it can make her popular, but because it's something she loved before popularity taught her to be embarrassed by it. Her growth may be the most honest thing in the movie, but one person escaping a hierarchy is not the same thing as destroying it. And somewhere in that reversal, most of us stopped watching the method. Regina spends most of the movie monitoring bodies, controlling relationships, spreading rumors, and deciding who gets to belong. When those tactics are aimed at other people, we recognize them as cruel. When the same tactics are aimed at Regina herself, they suddenly feel fair. You can still see that instinct everywhere. Public callouts, group chats built around humiliating one person, thousands of strangers joining a pile-on because somebody has been declared bad enough to deserve it. Sometimes people do deserve consequences. Regina certainly does. But consequence and humiliation aren't automatically the same things. The movie gives us a target ugly enough that we stop asking how she is being punished. For 2 acts, it lets us enjoy the same behavior we claim to hate. Because this time it's happening to a person we believe is deserving of this. North Shore turns our blind spot into entertainment. And then comes the crown. Spring Fling happens after Cady has started repairing the damage. She has returned to the mathletes. She has stopped scheming. She walks into that gym as someone who has genuinely begun to become herself again. Then they name her Spring Fling Queen. The crown goes on her head. The applause comes first. Only after North Shore approves of her does Cady refuse what that approval represents. The same student body that once rewarded Regina's power now rewards Cady. The school still needs someone at the center, and this time, it has simply chosen someone it likes better. Then Cady breaks the crown apart and shares it with the room. It's a beautiful gesture, and I think she means it. She's refusing the role Regina would have protected at all costs. But look at what had to happen before she could refuse it. The school had to give it to her. North Shore still crowned someone. The hierarchy still chose someone to stand at the top. Cady's refusal tells us she has changed. The fact that she was elected tells us the school hasn't. Not nearly as much as the ending wants us to feel. And we cheer both moments. We cheer when the crowd crowns her, and we cheer when she breaks the crown. We barely notice that those moments are pulling in opposite directions. Cady has earned our forgiveness. So once again, we stop looking too closely at the system, rewarding her. The movie wants to leave North Shore at peace. For a moment, it almost convinces us. Cady even says it. Finally, Girl World was at peace. Then Damien spots the younger girls, the junior plastics. They move through the school with the same look, the same attitude, the same promise that somebody new is already learning how this works. Cady isn't directing them, and she didn't create them. Their presence doesn't make her redemption fake. The image is unsettling for a different reason. The values behind the hierarchy are still waiting there, ready for a new group of students to pick them up. Beauty, attention, fear, and exclusion can still buy power in this school. The hierarchy doesn't need Cady. It didn't need Regina either. Then the movie gives us one last joke. For half a second, Cady imagines the new girls getting hit by a bus. Nothing actually happens, and Cady isn't planning an attack. The joke doesn't erase everything she has learned. It's just the old reflex flashing through her mind one final time. A new threat appears, and for an instant, elimination feels easier than change. Then the thought passes. Cady has changed. She has stepped outside the role North Shore taught her to want. But behind her, the next version of the plastics is already walking down the hallway. That's the part the happy ending can't quite hide. Cady defeats what the hierarchy brought out in her. She doesn't defeat the hierarchy itself. And we learn that personal redemption and systemic change were never the same ending. So, did North Shore really change? Or did Cady simply learn how to walk away from it? Let me know what you think below. And if you want to see more familiar movies from a different angle, subscribe to the Prism. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.